Alright guys, back-to-back shows, Saturday show, Sunday show, Kokomo-Con, Geek Meek. What did I buy? Stay tuned, let's find out. What's up you guys? Welcome back to Scouts Common Knowledge and welcome to my new adventure. Gosh, I'm excited to hang out with you guys today. Excited to go down this journey. Let's stop talking, let's get right into these books. Let's go right into day 2. So we went to 2 shows back to back. It was a lot of fun. They were very small shows. I want to say the Kokomo-Con had maybe 4 comic vendors and the Geek Meek had 5 comic vendors. So nothing crazy, but it was nice though to know that like, all right, I'm able to actually like go through all of these and like make sure I didn't miss anything. But we're going to start out with the smaller of the 2 shows. We're starting out with the Geek Meet. This is a show about an hour away from here in Danville, Indiana. And picked up a couple small things. So I knew my friend Brandon was setting up there, and I always check out his booth. He has, hands down, some of the best Star Wars books money could buy. He does. He has just a phenomenal collection of Star Wars, and as an avid fan, mad respect, I can always get deals. So at his booth, I grabbed 1 slab, not Marvel, and then some sets and runs of some Star Wars books. So picked up Boba Fett, Murder Most Foul, beautiful condition there. Picked up the Star Wars Episode 1, the 4-book character highlight set. Grabbed a Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, 1 through 4, and snagged the Attack of the Clones, 1 through 4. I feel those don't get as much love as they should. And picked up a 2-book set of Star Wars Empire's End. I know a little bit harder to find on that one. And then I picked up a slab from him as well, Secret Avengers number 23. So, absolutely brilliant slab. Got a great price on this one. So I paid $90 for this slab and all the other books I showed you today. So for the other 4 books, I paid $40 for the lot on there, which is a phenomenal deal. He normally doesn't do. He normally always hooks me up. I always appreciate that for him. I always give him a hard time about it, but really happy to snag this one. I know his cover I've been after for some time. Big fan of that Agent Venom. So $90 there, $40 in the lot. Can't go wrong with that. So another fun little highlight of the show. I was at a little booth and ran across a pretty cool Instagrammer / YouTuber at the show. She looks familiar, and I'm just like, "Are you?" And she's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up? I am, I'm Skeff. If you've heard of me." And she was so nice to say that she has, so appreciate that. But she was super nice. I'll post her Instagram here. Check it out. She has a bunch of followers. It's super cool. And she had just some boxes going through, and I found a couple things. And I did not listen. I'm a terrible person, but I didn't haggle. Each book was marked $5. I paid the $5 per book. I know you guys are surprised. You're very surprised. $15. I'll take it. Call it a day. So picked up a We Live number 1 4th print. Come on now. That goes that thing. Can't beat $1 over cover price. Picked up the Spider-Man number 26. Poster was inside. Beautiful. And I picked up for a buddy of mine a Duck Avenger number 0. So he would get a kick out of that Disney Duck book. Who I saw was running around to a few of the vendors, the comic vendors, and he was showing off stuff. So turns out he actually brought comics with him to sell to the vendors. And once he left one of them, I was just like, what do you got in the bag? What's in the bag? Which, don't do that. Only do it inside. Don't do that. I'm a very terrifying individual, so it's okay. But he actually had just like 50 books of like Silver Age books. And he had 4 slabs. And now the Silver Age books were obviously not in the best condition. He did have a Silver Surfer number 4, but the little, like the barcode, top left little image code was cut out. So it was one of the things like probably a 0.5 and wanted too much for it ungraded. And he had a Dead Man number 1. But unfortunately, like I said, the top part of it was ripped off, so the value there is very difficult. Like, I know it's probably a 0.5, so no point in paying what a 0.5 would get graded at, so pass on those. But I did grab the 4 slabs. Now, the 4 slabs are pretty interesting. I may have overpaid by maybe $25-30 on them, but let's show them off to you guys. And you guys let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know how I did. So I paid $250 for all 4 slabs. I grabbed a 9.4 Green Lantern 30, second cameo, Jessica Cruz. Now, this is a perfect copy. Can't find anything wrong with it. Yes, we're going to go ahead and... There we go. Get that started. Crack that open and get that 9.8. I'll look it over and make sure there's nothing wrong with it and see how it does. Picked up a... like I said, finally grabbed one of these after like over a year. But like a 9.8 Gleason first printing. Picked up the really cool ASM 61. This is the Comic Mint limited to only 800 copies in a 9.8. I was able to find some comps on this one. I think they're like 175 to 200 on these. I think the Gleason is like 75 to 100. So like at least I'll make my money back by selling this one and that Gleason, which isn't too difficult. And I think if that Jessica Cruz comes back in 9.8, I think it's like 130 to 150. Now this is the one book where I couldn't find any comps on. So I'm just like, well, at least I'll make my money back with those 2 books, and we'll see what this is worth. It's a Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider #1. I can't find too much information about a 9 or any CGC copies, and raw prices are all over the place. But I thought it was a great J. Scott Campbell cover, and it was a 1, according to the websites that I looked up, it's a 1 in 15 ratio from 2017. So a very interesting book. As a Spidey fan, I'll probably sit on this one. I mean, if I had to put a price on it, which I don't know if I even could, I mean, maybe 100 to 150 bucks? Maybe? I have no idea. But I'll probably sit on this one, get the other one regraded, sell the other 2, just sit on this and see what happens. But that was it for the Geek Meek. Very nice show. Massive space. Kudos to them. It was at a fairgrounds, in like a big indoor area. Plenty of space to rock around. They could have fit in like 10, 15 more vendors in there. Plenty of space. So that was really awesome. Now for the Kokomo one, itty bitty living space. It was a little tiny space. It was in a hotel in like a conference room. Like if the conference room was like open and then you had like both conference room. It was some tight quarters in there. Definitely no room for any more vendors in there. Like I said, there were only 4 comic vendors in there. And I'll show off what I bought from 2 of them, and then where Mark, my favorite one to go to, I spent all my money at. I spent all my money at that one. I went to Joe. He actually does, he's a local guy who actually presses books. And from what I've seen on the Instagram, or on the Facebook photos, does a phenomenal job. So hopefully I can get a hold of him and get a few books my pressed. I went through his thing, he had some great books, and he is he's very firm on the prices, and I have much respect for that. Not too much wiggle room, as I like to say. So I grabbed some Afro books. He had 2 copies of Dr. Afro #1. #1 first prints, and without me saying it, he's like, I have $20 is my wiggle room, and I'm like, all right, I'll take the pair for 20. So couldn't go wrong with those. Gonna hold on to those, maybe send them off, get them graded. So picked that up from Joe. And the other booth I went to, it was interesting. Like, they had a lot of slabs that were way overpriced, but then they had some raw books that were super cheap, and it was a very hodgepodge sort of booth. I'm not familiar with them. I haven't seen them before at shows, but I went through everything. I went through all the slabs, and they had a lot of like Department of Truth, not like 9.2s, 9.4s, 9.6s, no 9.8s, but like the prices of them were just almost like 9.8 prices. So I couldn't do it. So I ended up buying only 5 books. They were all raw books. I spent $10, which they almost wouldn't sell to me for $10. I sold 2 of the books already. They had a Miles Morales Comic Fest, had a price tag of $5, and then they had a Avenger 36, that not classic, it just came out, but it's Avenger 36. I'll post a picture of it here. It's gone now. Black Panther versus Moon Knight cover, and like I said, that Black Panther Avenger 36, it was in a box that said half off cover price, along with these 3. So I had a Undiscovered Country #1 first printing for $2, and then I was very surprised 2 copies of Far Sector #3. Like I said, they're not #1s, #2s, but still early issue runs of it for half off. So I had those 2 for $6. Then I had the Avengers for $8, and then the Miles was $5. And somehow she was like, I gotta be firm on the price. I'm like, I'm gonna give you $10, and then I'm gonna walk away, and then we're gonna call it done. No, I didn't say that. No, she looked at the books extra long, and I'm just like, I think I walked over, like, I looked at these, and she's looking at them like, I'm gonna give you $10 for those 5 books, and she was like, I gotta do 13, and I'm like, no. Like I said, guys, I'm a terrible person at conventions, and I apologize for that ahead of time, and I'm very sorry, but I'm a terrible person at conventions. Like I said, yeah, so I got all 5 for $10. I ended up selling the Miles for $10, and I sold the Avengers 36, I think, for like $10 as well. So these 3 I get to kind of hold on to, and already doubled my money on those, so not too bad. But like I said, I'm terrible. But she was looking at them so long. I'm like, they're just, you had them in this box. Let me just take them. Now let's get to the big books. The big books, the most money I have spent at a show in quite some time. The man with a magnificent beard. I spent $2,800 with him. Yes, that is correct. I spent $2,800 with him, and I would have done it again. Let me show you it off. Oh wait, I missed one guy. There's one other guy at that at the Komocon. It was just like kind of like a dude like me. He had like a couple short boxes of stuff, and I went through all, and like he had some pretty good stuff. We grabbed a Uncanny Annual X-Men. He had listed for $45, and it was in really nice shape. Had a Undone by Blood, really nice condition. Green Lantern, number 39 and number 40. Had them for $20. And then just a nice copy of Descender, a very difficult book to find in just any grade, let alone at all. So I got a good deal on those. I think I got like $25 off asking price on all those. Which one of the things where I was just like, he had a price, and I'm like, I'm going to stick with my price. You're there to sell comics. I'm here to buy them. Let's go ahead and figure that out immediately. So I'm happy to grab those. But yeah, I picked those up. Also, he had an X-Force number 1 and number 2 that I think he had it for like $6 for the pair, and I sold those. I think I sold those for like $10. So, I mean, just made a little bit of money back, but I'll probably grade the Undone. Maybe the Uncanny X-Men's gradable, but like pretty good, probably profit margin on those. But now let's get into the big books, the ones I am most excited about. So I'll go it off in exact order of what I paid for everything. So I'm gonna show you off the raw books. So there's one I am missing. I forgot which one it was, but we have a Spider-Gwen, number 1. Ignore the sticker price. I'll tell you what I paid for everything, but couldn't pass that up. Had a price at $30. Couldn't pass this up. Ultimate Miles, number 2 for $30. Couldn't pass that up. A beautiful copy of Spidey vs. Wolverine. Absolutely brilliant copy. For $30. A hard to find Punisher 5 Ronin, that Dave and Matt goodness, had a price for $50. And like I said, some I don't run across very much, which I might just get graded, but I Once and Future number 3 second printing. I know these are low print runs, and I know the second prints of issue like 2, 3, and 4 weren't too many of. But like I said, I think that was like $160. I got them all for like $110. He gave me a great deal on all the raw books. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll happily take all these. So I got a great deal on all these raw books. Like I said, they're in phenomenal shape. Now let's get to the bigger books. The first thing, like I said, that was just a small thing. The first big thing was we came into a price point on these 3 slabs for $1,000. Let me show off what I got. First book up, he had a price tag of $50. Mark is just the best human. Black Science number 1. You're like, what is this? Well, it's actually a old label CBCS 9.8. Beautiful, hard to find book. And going for a fair decent amount. I think they're going for like $120 for Black Science number 1. So that's a good value on that one. He had this one priced at $275, and I am excited to maybe try to crack this one open. It's a Star Wars 107, the last issue of that original run. Yes, I know. Well, this is the last of the original run. Like I said, beautiful book. I don't think this one has been pressed. I don't think so. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I looked at the grader's notes. There are none. 9/8 in this book are, I think, close to $1,000. So, absolutely incredible book. He had this one listed at $275. So I'm like, 9/6, potential for maybe a 9/8. Absolutely send that off. And then the piece de resistance is, I can't believe I bought so many DC books this week, and I'll show you why in a second. I was very surprised. And I'm like, that's a cool book. Let me see if I can snag one of those. He had this one listed at $1,000. So I paid $1,000 for all 3 of the slabs I just showed you, and I was just like, I have to take home this Adam Hughes book. I can't let it go. It has to leave this building and come home with me. So, absolutely iconic book. These Adam Hughes covers are just holding and going, and they're going up. They're holding and going up. It's crazy. Like, nothing key in the book, just a low print run variant. And looked it up on GPA, and I'm just like, this just keeps trending. Because the problem is that there's not many out there. There's, I think, on the census, I think there's maybe 200-ish, a 9/8 of the census on this book, blue label. So, couldn't leave that there. So that's what I spent, $1,000 on those 3. So we'll see if we can crack open the Star Wars. If we hit a 9/8, makes it even better than what I had anticipated. The Black Science, I might hold on to, maybe sell, we'll see. But the Supergirl might just be a hold. Because if I could sell the other 2, I'd rather sell the other 2, keep the Supergirl. At least that's just my opinion. All right, time for the big book, where he was like, I'm firm on. I'll be able to get another like $90 off it because I'm a terrible person, but you know, that's just being me. But because the grand total of everything came to like $28.90, and I was like, how about $2,800? He's like, okay. So thank you for the incredible deal. This book, I will absolutely take the $90 off of this one. He had it listed at $17, so I'm gonna say I got it for $16.10. You will be blown away what I picked up. And it's a modern book. It's a modern book. But too much potential. Amazing Fantasy number 15. First Amadeus Cho. I think this also 200-ish for 9/8 on this one as well. This book has he was right. He actually had two others he had like 7 short boxes of Slabs, so I looked through all of them. He had 2 others that he did have priced at $2,500, which was the last sold confirmed sale I was able to find. So he is a gentleman and a scholar, and I always recommend you buy from him. He actually had this one priced at $1,700, and I'm just like, he's like, yes, yeah, I will. And I'm like, oh my, he's too good to me. Because I knew that if I didn't buy it, he would have just like the other ones, he would have priced it. So I got it for $610. I'm saying I got it for $16.10. But absolutely crazy book. Another book that does have a lot of potential with the War of the Realms, the Age of Atlas. Amadeus Cho still could be coming. It's just, and also not many out there in a 9.8. So absolutely insane haul. 2 books I never think I would ever pick up in my wildest dreams. You just run across at prices you just can't pass up. You just couldn't pass them up. Like I said, so yeah, $16.10 on that, $1,000 for the other 3 Slabs, and like I said, a couple $100 on the raw one. So just a solid thing. And there was one last. I stopped by one comic shop. Anytime I go out of town, I try to stop by the local shop because you just never know. You never know what you find. So I stopped by the Comics Cubed, or like Kokomo Comics Cubed in Kokomo, their local shop. Very, very, very nice shop. The gentleman that was working that day, Andy. If every shop could just have an Andy working there, I would go into every comic shop. He was just the nicest human. The nicest human. I was just he was just talking to everybody and just very forward. I'm just like, this guy just so friendly. So I just had a smile on my face the entire time digging. So I was able to find a few back issue books, but they had a special that if you were to go to the show and you came to the shop, you got 20% off. And I'm like, all right, cool deal. So I picked up some like back issue books, some raw books, something like that, and I got 20% off those, which was awesome. And then I was like, I casually asked, like, well, how much do I got to spend to get like 25% off? He's like, well, let's see what you buy. So I showed him all like the back issue books. Nothing too crazy. I think the most expensive book I had was like $8. I pulled out like 10 books, 10, 12 books, I think. But he had a back wall. He had a beautiful ASM 129. He had a beautiful Invisible Iron Man #1. Just some absolutely kind of bangers of some Slabs. But I did notice yet another DC book. I can't escape the DC this weekend. I never buy DC. I saw the cover and it just popped. I don't know if it's my childhood that made me like, but the Batman animated series, or I'm just like, that's the Batman animated series. He had a Batgirl #1 9.8, and he was nice enough. He had a price tag on this one of $3.99, and he gave it to me like I said, he let me get this one for 25% off. So I was just like, I have to take this. I have to take this book. It's one of the things you just can't pass it up sometimes. And this one I looked up too. I think there's only like maybe 200-ish in a 9.8 on this blue label from like over 25 years ago. So it's a stunning Batgirl cover. She doesn't get enough love, but I just thought this was incredible. Like, it just really put me back in my childhood of just like the Batman animated series. Just Bruce, Tim, and you got the Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy on the cover as well. Like you said, I know everyone's the Batman Adventures #12, the first Harley Quinn, but like the artwork on there, I've just never been a big fan of. But this one though, this is the animated event. Like, this is just like, I just thought this one was wicked. So, like I said, I bought another DC book. Who would have guessed it, right? But yeah, I had to take it. I couldn't beat the price. So, but that's it, guys. That was my spending spree for the weekend. Insane, like $3,500 later. Yes, I know I probably could have bought like some Silver Age Grail, but I'm working toward it. Like I said, I'm doing this all the time now, so I'll have time to buy the bigger books when they come up. There's nothing crazy. I didn't see a single Journey into Mystery 83. No crazy Silver Age Spider-Man books I needed. So I took advantage of the opportunities I had while while they were available, and that's one thing I do kind of like, at least I don't know if I'd recommend it, but that's what I'm doing right now. Like, if an opportunity presents itself where I can do the work and realize that this is a good potential deal, maybe I can do this and move this later to then acquire the books I want to acquire, you bet I'm going to do that. This is like, it's just a thrill of the hunt for me, the thrill of finding the deal, the thrill of moving that deal to get the book I want to get. And I love that. I'm very competitive. So this brings me great joy. So finding all these crazy deals, I was just like over the moon excited. I couldn't wait to tell everybody. I'm like, I bought a book for $1,600. And I'm just like, and it wasn't a Clone Wars. It was a DC book. And not even a first appearance. So I'm just like, I gotta buy it. But oh no, the Amadeus show. So at least it was the $1,000, but no, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah. So $69 on the Amadeus show, which is actually, I have no problem. I feel that's a good deal. I feel that's a good book that will continue. I mean, like the Miss Marvels are going up, the Riri went up. Like Amadeus still has potential, and also a low print run, low census count. So I don't think there'll be another 100 of those being graded in the next year or so. No one's gonna go find a box of those books somewhere. I mean, they could, but I feel it's more unlikely. But that's it, guys. That was my 2-day, 2 cons back-to-back in a row, and it was a riot. Absolute riot, guys. But thank you so much for checking out today's video, guys. Once again, like always, thank you for everything. I truly cannot thank you guys enough. I'm having an absolute blast with this. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this video today. Like I said, drop a comment down below. Let me know which of the books I picked today was you think my best deal, worst deal, or which one was your favorite. I look forward to having that chat with you guys later down in the comments. Like I said, guys, I'm looking forward to taking this journey with you. It's going to be a riot. I'll see you guys in the next one. Skeff.